Yeah, I've been playing Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice a lot lately, and this game's pretty hard. So hard that a lot of people in the gaming community have started petitioning From Software and Activision to include an easier mode in order to make the game more accessible. Now, my first reaction to this was, what the f***? No. Granted, I've poured almost 15 hours into this game so far, and it feels like I've made very little progress, but I respect this game's difficulty. It is part of what makes the game so beautiful. Sekiro's bosses are incredibly imaginative, and the fact that they're so difficult to get through just creates a certain level of respect for the challenge of defeating them. On the same note, getting from one stage to the next is an incredibly rewarding experience because it might take you anywhere from 5 to 50 deaths to get to that next stage. Sekiro's difficulty is practically the game's backbone. It gives the game its identity. Plowing through the enemies in the game with little challenge at all would diminish just how daunting and impressive this creation really is. So safe to say, I was strongly against any notion of adding an easy mode to the game, and I still think that. But recently I read an article by a journalist at IGN named Cherry Ray that shed a new light on the subject of gaming and accessibility, and that article was titled Sekiro, Accessibility in Games is About Far More Than Difficulty. In this article, Cherry argues that by creating a game so difficult, From Software is unintentionally excluding gamers with disabilities that flat out prevent them from ever being able to overcome a game as difficult as Sekiro. She mentions gamers with ADHD, arthritis, gamers that are overworked, and gamers that just flat out become so stressed by a game of this difficulty that playing the game actually becomes a detriment to their mental health. Do I think Sekiro should have an easy mode? No, but I think this article makes a valid point and opens up an interesting discussion. I believe that, generally speaking, gaming is all about inclusion, and sharing our gaming experiences with one another is what makes it so enjoyable. So if we're unintentionally excluding others from sharing in that same experience, one can argue that it's detrimental to gaming as a whole. However, similarly to eating octopus or climbing Mount Everest, not everything is going to be for everyone. I do think that as a community, we should be actively trying to grow that community, but just like how water is wet, Sekiro is hard. Its difficulty is the core of its identity. People love this game because getting through it feels like an incredible accomplishment, and it is an incredible accomplishment. The developer behind a game has the responsibility of deciding just how accessible they want to make it. After all, their number one job is to create a game that people want to play. They would only be hurting themselves by creating a game that pushes players away, unless the thing that pushes those players away is what is simultaneously pulling other players in. No, adding an easy mode wouldn't physically take anything away from the standard game, but the standalone accomplishment of finally defeating a boss after dying 30 times and whipping your controller at the wall just wouldn't be the same. And that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Should Sekiro have an easy mode? Do developers have a responsibility to make their games as inclusive as possible? For more quality content, click here and be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.